Hey guys, how y'all doing? It's your girl, Red Talk Anna, back again. As you see the discussion, we are talking about the presidency and how it's separating everybody. How's everybody feeling? What's everybody going through? What's going on? When can we come together and get over everything and just join together, okay? Because it really doesn't matter who is. It is done. It's done. It's done. So we gotta move on. Let's move on and start it and start again, right? There's no savior. Like I always said, I always think that people are elected, or selected, not elected. Real talk. I think it was definitely one of the most craziest elections that we had so far. But what do we do? Do we stay in where we've been at, or do we keep moving forward? Right? I mean, what do you do? Kamala came out. She gave her speech. Some say she didn't write it. Who knows? Let me know if you can hear me. And if you can't hear me, let me know. Anyway, I just think that, things happen. Things happen. And I think everything happens for a reason. And I don't know Kamala or Trump, right? So I don't think nobody's savior. I think we get caught up on the media. I really do. I think the media has us thinking who should win and who shouldn't win. And I think that, sometimes you gotta go on your own bones sometimes. You can't always just be thinking, you gotta remember the media changes your mind and wants you to be molded one type of way. Real talk, it does. So when it does that, you gotta be logical and practical about your own stuff. Because if not, you're gonna listen to anything. All we can do is stay tuned and figure it out. People on TikTok was crying and yelling and doing all kind of craziness. Like, I'm just like, what? We still gotta go. We still gotta move on. We still gotta keep moving and grooving and doing our thing. We still gotta keep working and all that kind of stuff. Like, seriously, what you gonna do? You can't sit in sorrow, And I have no dog in that fight, I will say that, you will conform some kind of way. I mean, you don't have a choice but to conform some kind of way. Are we gonna be mad? Are you gonna be mad? I'm not gonna be mad. But I'm just saying, like, what else we gonna do? If we don't do that, then I always think you gotta think a solution. Always gotta have a solution. If you don't have a solution to something that's going on, I mean, what is the point? Real talk. I see the stock market got up, somebody got paid that money. Okay? Like, real talk. I think that there's all kind of things that happen that we need to be working on. Even when it comes to pro-life and all that type of stuff, I mean, we got a lot of things we got to work on. We really do. I think it doesn't boil down just to any president. I think that boils down on us, We got to have our own accountability when it comes to this nation. We honestly do. And all kind of things happen. You got to remember, some people, they retired. People ain't got no money, jobs. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on, People didn't have a lot of faith sometimes. But people are arguing over politics. That's what arguing is not going to win. I always tell people, I don't argue politics or religion. My thing is, you gotta look for solutions and move on and go to the next thing. What you gonna do? You still gotta get up. You still gotta do stuff. Let's just say you are mad. Let's say you mad because of this election. Okay, now what? You can't just sit in. You just can't sit in your sorrows. You can't. You can, but guess what? Nobody cares. I promise you don't. So why even sit there? I wouldn't. Let's get up and let's do something. Let's start doing some things. Get some stuff done. Let's start. There's other reasons why different things it ain't just one person. One person doesn't change the world, guys. It doesn't. It is a community of people. Like I said before, people are selected. They're not really elected. I don't care what nobody says. When it comes down to it, I tell you what, this election was very interesting, though. I tell you that it was very interesting. and all kind of stuff still probably going on. Who knows what all still gonna go on, what all we all gonna find out, right? I will say it's good and the bad on either side sometimes, you know? Don't get caught up in just something that's just because everybody else is doing it. You gotta be your own person. Like real talk. Be your own person, make your own judgments when it comes to stuff like this. You know, I will say this was one election that had the most funniest impressions ever on both sides. Okay. I will say that. I don't know. I thought I'll open up a Q&A today. I want people to be able to speak, have respect because I respect everybody in my life. So if you come in, have respect in here because that's what we do. This is not a fight. This is just a discussion of what's going on and how can we make things better. Like what can we do? I don't care what situation I'm ever in life. I always think to myself, no matter what happens, like how can I make this better? Is it fixable? Is there a solution? A lot of times there are solutions. We just sometimes we sit in our sorrow. You know, like what's the next thing we looking forward to after this, right? We about to go into the holidays and things are moving. I promise you, the older you get, you can't really sit and just sit on your problems because it ain't gonna move. I promise you, it doesn't help you. It don't help you. There's other things that we can be doing instead of complaining and getting mad and different things like that. Because we don't know neither candidate, right? I will say, I will tell you this: Trump is one of the most funniest presidents we ever had. I'll tell you that much. And I will say he's a straight shooter. When he talks, people might not like what he says sometimes, but hey, he says what he wants to say. And that's one thing that Kamala was not doing sometimes, She wasn't saying things and they wanted her to answer certain things and stuff wasn't getting answered. So I don't know. What do you do when that happens? I think that's where she might have messed up at is like when it came to questions, is like I don't know. I can't find much video on her answering a lot of questions. I don't have nothing against her or Trump. I just think that people they reserve the right to kind of go with who they want to go with. Like real talk. I don't know why people get so mad when people make their own choices to do what they want to do. Right? I mean, that's with anything. You don't want somebody getting mad at you because you feel some kind of way. That's what opinions are for. Like imagine if you couldn't speak your piece. Like what kind of world we live in where you can't say what you like. It's not hurt nobody. And we don't know, even with Trump and everything he got going on, right? They both had stuff going on. Right? Candace was on Kamala's butt. She was on her butt like a dog on a rabbit, okay? She was finding all her stuff. I mean, it was so much sling fighting going on. It was just nuts. You know, I will say one thing though, honey, all the Trump stuff was out there. So it's like you put it all out there. That's almost like Eminem and 8 Mile. I don't know if y'all familiar with that movie, but remember when he was rapping and stuff and different things like that? He said everything about him bad that you can possibly pull out. So you couldn't even really use it against him. I almost feel like that's what happened with Trump almost. I feel like he almost used all of his stuff. I think he put it out that way, like what you gonna do? I tell you what though, that shows you, that shows you that you don't give up. If this election don't show us if it don't show us nothing else, hey, you don't give up. And think about it. He had all kind of stuff, reasons why he could have gave up. And he didn't. He kept going. So, you know, take with it, take from it what you want. Sometimes even something that you perceive to be bad can sometimes be good, you know? And who are we to say what's bad and what's good? Like we all got our own situations going on, right? And because somebody's a Trump supporter, if I'm a Trump supporter or a Democrat, like that don't mean that we don't get along. I think people put too much emphasis on that. That's why a lot of times in a lot of workplaces, they wasn't even allowing them to even talk about politics because they know it makes them argue and stuff. And ain't nobody got time for that. It was amazing to me how many people, and when it came to even podcasts and different celebrities and different people that were talking about different things. You got to remember, uh, they stating their opinion and they're losing followers and different things like that. I mean, that's kind of rough because it's like we can't express our opinion without making somebody mad. Like that's wild to me. And I just feel like, when did we come like that? It's like cancel culture, right? I mean, think about it. And then as far as the celebrities, you had Beyonce and Cardi B. Now that was a horrible speech. I don't care what y'all say. That was a terrible speech. I don't know why they put that girl up there. That was not good. That was not a good speech. And I don't think I think that everybody was kind of going on popularity in social media. At least they think they was going on that. But that didn't get it done. And people don't realize the music industry is horrible right now. People not getting paid. Beyonce ain't selling no hair products. She didn't make a whiskey that I don't know if anybody's buying it right now. So you got to think when they call them, yeah, they probably gonna come up. They ain't got nothing else to do right now. Of course, fabulous people, but when it comes to what else they got going on right now? A lot of people, yeah, they gonna take them shows. They is. They gonna hide these for hairs. Even that was kind of wild to me. Like out of all people, and don't be wrong, I have nothing against Megan Thee Stallion, so don't come for me. I just think that when it came to picking somebody to kind of demonstrate and display uh their feelings and just the hotties for hairs, that was kind of rough. That was kind of rough. Then seeing how she came out with the documentary and how then she finally came out and said her and Tory Lanez finally slept together. Like that was just kind of strange to me. Like we already knew that you messed with that man. Just from the violence that happened, we knew that some type of bump and grind had to be involved. I'm sorry. There's no other way. You don't get that mad without some type of something going on. I don't know if she was sprung out. I don't know if what was going on, but we already knew that you did that, Megan. So we didn't have to have you come out and have a long documentary about it. And then the actual documentary is off the chain as far as they put it like in a cartoon version. Hold on, please. Oops. Hold up, guys. Let me pause this really, really quick. Be right back. All right, I'm back. Sorry, had a little technical difficulties real quick. But like I was saying, back to what I was saying about both of the candidates. I think that man, it kind of made it like a little smoke show with all them different celebrities, and I get it. I truly understand why they wanted to have all those celebrities. I think they thought, it was just going to make the popular vote. But I don't think they realized like you needed a little bit more when it came to that situation. And think about it. They had the big guns. They had Taylor Swift, Beyonce. I mean, they had a lot. I mean, Trump's side had a lot too. I just think it was more at stake. It was more at stake. And hey, right now people are broke right now. They ain't got no money. People are suffering. If they never suffered before, this year is a hard year for them. I don't know about you, but I know most of my people, and I mean, I'm just talking about the world, is going through something right now. So people don't realize that was a factor when people was voting and stuff, I think. If you're already struggling, you having a hard time, I mean, you probably are not going to be interested in the same cabinet sometimes, It doesn't mean it's going to get better, don't mean it's going to change. But I'm just saying, but everybody crying and screaming on TikTok like that, like that's just nuts to me how people are on there just going crazy. Like, what's that going to do? That ain't going to do nothing. That ain't going to change nothing. It really doesn't. I don't even think protests work and stuff like that. If anything, I feel like that works is like a boycott or something like that. I mean, I think we got to put other strategies together to handle some different things, I mean, people still sad and crying as if, and don't get me wrong, you know what I'm saying? I don't know neither candidate, but let's just say Kamala was going to win. It doesn't mean it's something would have changed like Thanos or anything like that, It doesn't. I think that, and I get it when you're answering them questions and you don't feel like, or you don't want to answer them because you don't want to be politically correct, incorrect or anything, but you got to answer something. You got to start, you have to, because if not, people are going to be like, okay, they don't know what they're talking about. And I think both candidates got their own thing going on with, or, got to think it ain't just one person running a country. I don't care who gets selected. But at the same time, though, I mean, we got to let up, guys. We got to let up. We got to not be so serious about this situation. I mean, because we can't change anything on either side. So, look, let's pull through, get together, and move forward. I don't know. Like, that's why I opened up this live today. Because I was like, let me see how people are feeling and what they got to say and different things like that, I mean, think about it. And people act like Trump wasn't president already before. He was. He was president before. It ain't like he just came out of nowhere and we was like, well, who is this, right? I mean, think about it. Even when it came to Ice Cube and different celebrities and they wanted to get some stuff done, sometimes they end up calling the Republicans or called Trump. I mean, if he got it done, he got it done, I don't know. I think you got to do what works for you. You got to vote for you. I'm pretty sure you voted for whatever policy resonated with you. So I don't see nothing wrong with that. People can vote before they want to. Like, when did we get in a society? And I tell you what, another thing that kind of made it a little crazy, I think when it came to the religious beliefs and the alphabet crew and the trends and all that kind of stuff, when all that stuff kind of came through, I mean, that was like, people kind of really more made it that on the liberal side sometimes, at least people thought that way, or at least people said it was looking like that. So I think, when it came to that, what you going to do? What are y'all thoughts on this? Let me know if y'all can hear me clearly. Let me know if you can see me clearly, because I just logged on. So whoever's in here, let me know, how do I sound? I mean, I think that, we in America, free speech, people can say what they want. I'll say one thing though. Jason, hey Jason, what's going on, my co-host? How are you doing today? Jason, how do you feel about everything that's been going on with the election and everything like this? Like, what's good? How have you been? Like, seriously. Like, you see, I got your comment up. You already know. I am in between streams at the moment. I'm trying to find what streaming platform I'm going to use as far as when I come on these lives. So that's what I'm in the middle of doing right now. How do you feel, Jason, about everything that's going on with the politics and different things like that? I was on TikTok the other night. I think I did like an hour and a half the day before yesterday. Yeah, we had a good talk. I'm on TikTok too, folks. Same name, Red Talk Anna. I was just saying that, I think people are kind of hard on people sometimes when it comes to, like, people are allowed to have their own thoughts. They're allowed to like whatever candidate they want to like. Like, like, I don't think people realize people be fighting over stuff like this. I ain't fighting over nobody that don't know me. I'm not. I don't know neither one of them. I don't. I will say the rhetoric and the different things and different stuff that people were saying. I mean, hey, Trump, people don't like what Trump say sometimes, but at least he say stuff. He's talking about it. When he was talking about the Mexican taking the black jobs, he meant that. And I don't think he meant it in a way that where it's, I think it's ruffling people's feathers, but they don't realize they are outworking a lot of the other brown people way faster. Okay. So I think that's what he was talking about. I don't think he was being rude when he said that. You know, I think he was being Trump. Trump is Trump, you know? He's saying it how he feel. And think about it. I know most of the people that I know who are Jamaicans, Africans, Haitians, whatever. I mean, they got a worth ethic that is not no joke. And y'all know it. So, when they come through, they don't play. So and I think that's what pretty much that Trump was saying. What do you think, Jason? Like I honestly do. I think it became more of that than anything else. As far as like I don't think he was being silly. I'll tell you what, he has some supporters, okay? He got some supporters on his side. That's all I got to say. So, you know, he won. He won fair and square. I mean, we moving on. We moving on to the next side. So it's like, what else? What else we about to take? What's next? Climate? What we doing? Like for real. What's the next thing on our agenda? You know, I wish they had it to where after a presidency race, like when you lost, I wish they had it to where the whoever lost had to work with the president or something like that. Like they should make them the vice president or something. Like when they lose. Like seriously. Let's see. What'd you say, Jason? You said the American elections are always amazing race to watch. In a democracy, people still question the results. They definitely do. Democracy. They definitely do question the results, right? And I think that's just what they're gonna do, right? I don't care who would have won. They gonna question the results. But at the same time, though, hey, it is what it is. We got other stuff going on. We got women having babies by themselves at alarming rates, and they don't care. And it's like, where them kids going? Most likely to jail. So it goes into something else. I know they got uh the abortion and the pro-choice, all that type of different stuff. But we gotta find something else to help these women out too, though. It ain't just about after you're pregnant. Now it's like, okay, what I do? Wow, we got to get some other resources out there because we see it's not working. It ain't working. Like, what you gonna do with all them kids? Most of them gonna be in foster care, jail. I mean, the risk is gonna be high. It just is. The risk is way higher. When you ain't got no support, it's like, what you gonna do? So I get it, but people don't realize we kind of we kind of rely on things that ain't working. Even when it came to welfare, wherever it came into the system, like people was like some people thought it was great that was on the bottom, but it's like it really broke up our families. People depended on that, and now it's a regular thing for us to just kind of be out here just having kids, and we don't give no thought about it, right? And it's like, what is that gonna do? Jason John says Trump seems he is for the economics of America, and Harris seems she was on the women's rights and criminal laws. You're right, right. I do believe that. I do believe that when it came to her answering questions and different things like that, you really couldn't find a lot of things she was answering. I looked, I'm trying to find some. I didn't find a lot, and I ain't got nothing against Kamala, so don't come for me. You know what I mean? Like seriously, I really couldn't. I just couldn't find a lot. I will say, Trump is a businessman. So people did like that. And he's a man. He's a man. When it comes to all that stuff happening in Russia and them sending, they send them troops over there from China already, and I don't think people realize like we are kind of already in a WAR for real. I mean, look at it. Look at all the hacking that's going on. Look at all the stores that are closing. Like it is worse than what we thought it was. It really is. So when it comes to that, when it comes to us probably about to be going at it and different things like that, yeah, they're probably not going to pick her because she's not really answering any questions sometimes, And Trump, as crazy as he is and different things like that, he's still a man, and people sometimes feel more comfortable with a man. So, it's not my fight. But at the same time, it's like, let's move on. I don't know if you've seen that, Jason, all them people on TikTok screaming and hollering and crying and just like, no, losing their mind on TikTok. I'm just like, this is nuts. You in the car screaming and hollering. What's that gonna do? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not gonna be helpful. So why even do that? Hey guys, if y'all can like this chat, I would appreciate it. Hit that like button for me. It helps people come into the room. But seriously, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think I wonder what they think is going to be. What do y'all think is going to change so much right now that he is first? Like, what do you think is going to change, if anything? Jason John says, we know Trump and we don't fear the devil. We know it's other candidate we don't trust, respectfully speaking. Yeah, they did not trust her. I will say they did not trust Kamala too much. They didn't. They definitely didn't. You read about that. And people was like, like we knew the candidate is just Trump. A lot of people said they did not trust Kamala. A lot of people just didn't like her. Even remember when she was running for president, when she was trying to get in there and she was going against Biden, like she wasn't liked. Like I will say, she wasn't liked by nobody. She wasn't liked by women, men, or pandas. I mean, they just didn't care for her, And I'm not saying that she's not likable, but they didn't. I will say once she became vice president, she became a little bit more likable, right? But I think that when she wrote that book and Candace Owens got on her tail, man, listen, I don't think she realized that book was going to come back on her like that. As far as like that picture with her saying her grandma barrel. Yeah, so she put up she wrote a book and she put a picture and she said, "This is my grandma barrel." And Candace was on that like lightning, okay? It was surreal on TikTok. They got to the live. They got to live in America. He is the elected president. Yeah, it is. And I don't think people realize. Sometimes we be crying about stuff. Sometimes it ain't even what's going on right now. Sometimes we be crying about our own stuff going on. You be thinking like it's kind of like at a funeral. You know how somebody be acting like they about to roll down the front aisle and they screaming and hollering, and you be looking like you can't be crying over this. Sometimes I don't think people really are. We just be thinking they are. It's like, what you gonna do? He president. Suck it up and move on. End the story. You know what I mean? And then people are gonna probably be talking about this forever. There's other stuff that we need to be attacking, that we need to be fixing. We do. We do. We got overcrowded prison systems. We got people on drugs more than ever. We got the AI coming through, about to take over 40% of the jobs in the next 10, 15 years. I mean, we got other stuff that we need to be focusing on. And I tell no lie. So it's like, let's get busy with that, Look, Candace even said Candace was just they was still going through all of her stuff with that. I was like, Candace was like, she wasn't done with her. She wasn't done with her. And with Trump being in office, he gets to select 2 more Supreme Court justices, because I think them 2 are going to be leaving. So hey, he's going to have his way with this. Jason John said, "I'm sure all the steel workers and cargo workers are happy Trump is in." Yeah, people don't realize, like, people said they make money with Trump. People made money. Did y'all see that stock market shot up 1,200 points? Like, that was nuts. You don't see that. You don't see the stock markets shoot up like that. You don't. So people made money. People made money that day. I know. I was at the car dealership that morning, and all I seen was a whole bunch of men in there saying how they made money off stock market that morning. So I'm like, yeah, like people was on their computer, they was in there making money while they sitting at that dealership. I mean, it's all about what we know, people. I think one person doesn't change everything in your life, but at the same time, like, it's like some things are just ridiculous. Like, seriously. Jason John said he is a businessman and America is a company and a brand. to be reckoned with, and you're not lying about that. He's a businessman, and he does. And when it comes to that Russian Putin and all that stuff over there, I mean, I don't know if they friends or if he gonna call them up and they gonna try to sue something out, because right now that ain't looking too great for us. It's looking like it's going into WAR. I don't think people realize that it's worse than what it is. So I don't know. Hey, Lady T, how you doing, baby? What's good? Like, seriously, like, think we over here talking about the politics. We talking about the race, the everything that happened, and how people on TikTok and just losing their minds, screaming and hollering and crying, and it's just like, that's not going to help nothing. That's not going to help anything at all. So it's like, what do? Like, you move on to the next thing. You honestly do. Like, what's next? We got all kind of stuff going on. We got healthcare not being taken care of when it comes to even our people. Like, we got all kind of stuff that we need to be focusing on. like real talk. We honestly do. Yeah, exactly. We definitely got to take some type of accountability. We got to take some kind of accountability in there, because we are not taking that, right? I was just talking to somebody today. We were talking about child support, and one of my friends knows another girl, and she was saying that the girl don't ask her kid's father for child support, right? And I was telling the other girl, I was like, well, you know what? Maybe she just wants the father in her life. I mean, if you had to choose as a kid and not choosing for yourself, sometimes, you will just choose that you just want the kids to be around her father. And if a father says, I can be around you, but I ain't got no money, let that man be around his kids. Okay. Like, for real, let him be around his kids. Yeah, exactly. We have bigger fish to fry out here, and that ain't no lie. And everybody does want to play the blame game. That's and it's like, okay, and what you gonna do after that? Everybody gonna point fingers, like, and that doesn't help anything. It really doesn't. You gonna be pointing fingers for what reason? Still gonna be the same. Like, seriously, you ain't lying, honey. Enough is enough all day long. And you ain't, this is like, what's going on? It's like Jason John said, America just spent trillions on a war, and Los Angeles is a zombie zone. Yes, it is. A lot of these cities are a zombie zone when it comes to all them drugs and stuff they got going on. And that's the thing people don't realize. People voted on what that was fitting for them. Like, seriously, you got to think. From what I'm reading and what I'm looking at, 60 billion dollars on the illegal immigrants, right? And the thing is, and you got all these vets and stuff down here. It's like, what you gonna do? I mean, people are they're fed up. People are broke right now. People got the least money they ever had in their life right now. Even if your money was going good, right? Think about this. I was talking about this with you, Lady T, right? We was talking about this other day on TikTok. Like, even if your money is going, like, it's like, we all got to do something different. We all got to, and what's happening right now, it ain't enough. It's not enough. We are super selfish and entitled. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. T said we are selfish, entitled, and so narcissistic country. Yes, we are. And I mean, in all aspects, like, we really are. I'm telling you. The kids, I was talking about Generation Z and a lot of the millenniums. I was reading, they were saying they was firing them 90 going west, because they don't want to come to work. They don't want to get up. They don't want to do stuff. You can't tell them nothing. It's like, how do you think that you're going to live if nobody can tell you anything? Somebody's told me something time and time again, and somebody else gonna tell me something before I get done, and ain't nothing wrong with it. Nobody knows everything. You know what I mean? You can't know everything. If you know everything, you can't learn nothing. You can't learn nothing. And you don't got to agree with something that somebody's telling you, but you don't got to go against them either. I mean, stuff that I don't agree with and something that I have a problem with, let me tell you what I do. I listen to everything they say, and I do nothing. But I don't go back and forth with them, and take it in. You know what I mean? Like take it in. Lady T said, now I see people from other countries call us lazy and ungrateful. And we are, man. I'm telling you, this is how lazy that we are a lot of times, right? You might have somebody to be like, I have to work. I had to go to work today. And that's the reason why they have a bad attitude, because you got to go to work today. Don't nobody care about you going to work. That is not an accolade. Don't nobody care about you going to work. You don't get to be mean to people just because you're tired. You know what I mean? We all make our own roads a lot of times. In America, we do. You know, I don't know about nowhere else. And of course, we all know the background. We already know the history. We know that the 90% of a lot of brown people's real estate was taken, right? So we know that. So that means we gotta work harder. We gotta do more. We don't have the choice to sit back and chill. We don't have the choice but to help each other out and to make sure our people is going. Just like y'all that's on there right now. If y'all know me, y'all know anybody can call me and ask me for anything. As far as I help you, I talk to you, and we're gonna go back and forth, we're gonna converse. And that's what we gotta do, because that's what they doing. That's what they doing. I was just telling one of my clients the other day, I was telling her, I said, why don't you live with your mom and your sister? I was like, why don't you and your sister live with your mom? You're unmarried, y'all don't have any kids. Why don't y'all move back in with your sister? And they was like, no. Like, what is the reason? There's no reason to live by yourself and pay all your bills, put all your money on your bills, and you don't even have $15. What is the reason? I don't see that. I don't know why. And don't be wrong. Maybe when I was in my 20s or something, I might have thought like that. But after you live, it's like, no, you are stronger together. You are just stronger together. You just are. Why not live in the same house? Why not be able to save up the money so y'all can do more things? I didn't see foreigners, anybody that's foreign, that's not from America, live in a house with each other. I'm talking about couples, and I'm talking about both couples married. They got kids living there. I'm talking about they buy a house. They each put the money in for the house. I just seen something happen just recently. The house was bought for $170,000, right? Two brothers moved in with their wives. It was a 3-bedroom, full basement. Basement was not finished. Older house. You know that they fixed that house up themselves. They just sold that house for $450,000. You see what I'm saying? Lady T said, I must say, God had a plan for that man to be back in office from a different perspective. I do believe that. I mean, I think everything comes in just for different reasons, like real talk. Lady T said, we have been groomed to feel like we have to struggle. And we have been groomed to feel like we have to struggle. I promise we have. It says, whereas other cultures are taught to stay home and stack your bread and then move out. Exactly. Think about it. You have Napoli women doctors who still live with their parents until they get married. What reason they got to move out? They got what they moving out for? There's no reason to be moving out. Like, think about it. Why are we so busy to move out to be in solitude? Make it make sense. I don't get it. Remember, I was talking to you about when it comes to holidays, right? You got sisters, you got brothers. Why everybody having their own dinner at that? Y'all live in the same city. Why everybody having a dinner at their own house? Because we're selfish. Because we're selfish. That's a selfish move. Think about it. We already ain't got no money. Why are we not putting our money together to join together when we having holidays and different things like that? Like, why are we? Because we're made to be selfish a lot of times. We are made to be selfish. I tell you what, this economy right here will make you become closer to your family. I will tell you that. You will learn to get together because you don't get to move and do what you want to do. You don't. You don't. And I think as a lot of the kids and stuff, kids don't feel like being bothered with family. Kids go to the room and the family come. That's rude. And the world isn't set up for you to be like that. It's just not. So that's why I tell people, you got kids, start training your kids and teaching your kids how life is, because life is not set up around their living room. It's not. So we got to stop doing that. Kids be like, I'm irritated. Kids got headphones on at the table. You couldn't have headphones on the table. You my child, you sitting at the table, you're not having headphones on. You're not tuning me out. All that is a tune out. You just tune everybody out. Even when it comes to friends. Now, even when you're seeing two women at a restaurant or even a date, both of them on the phone. Like, what y'all come out for? If y'all not going to enjoy each other. When did we become so rude? Because that's rude to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't see no sense in being like that. Like, why come out to ignore each other? Like, make that make sense. Like seriously. And I real talk. Like I'll tell you what, you're gonna put your big drawers on and you're gonna grow up. This economy gonna make you grow up. Lady T said, we are going to be made to forgive and settle differences and come together. Now we have no choice but to do it. And you know what? I just said that. I was just talking to somebody about that, about just even forgiveness. Think about the stuff we be mad at. We be mad at somebody. You be so mad, you don't even know what you mad at before. And you got to realize, and a lot of moms do this, right? A lot of moms do this. Hey, Dave Ken, how you doing, baby? Dave Ken said, now when you punish your kids, you tell them you go out till the street light. Don't go out till the street lights come on. Yeah, Dave, you're right. They definitely should be back in that house before the street lights come on. Think about it. I be seeing kids out late as I don't know what, but they don't have parents. And if they do, a lot of times it be maybe just their mother. So, and it's like they don't have no structure. They have no structure. Even when I see people in the car, the kids, all the kids got on headphones. If something happens, emergency happens for y'all in the car, you can't even yell at your kids. They tuning you out. You know, like where is the structure on that? Like, you know, and then you wonder why they grow up and they become rude adults. Like seriously. Yeah. Lady T said because the parents are still trying to be outside. Lady T, you're not lying. They are trying to be outside. They trying to be outside right with them. And that's wild to me though. Because it's like, who they gonna come to? If you gonna try to be their sister, I mean, like kids still like to be parented. I don't care if you've grown, you still appreciate somebody telling you something, some type of sound advice. I promise you. We overgive and cuddles, and you know, and that's the thing. This is why you need a lot of fathers in homes, because one thing about a lot of fathers, guys, people don't realize, a lot of times when it comes to moms will be like, oh, you'll get it next time, you can do better, you'll get it, it's okay. Dad gonna be like, oh, you done messed up, you messed up, you failed. They're not going to reward bad behavior. And a lot of times, and y'all know I'm telling the truth, a lot of times as women, we reward bad behavior. Like you don't get a trophy. You don't. I promise you don't. Yes, I promise you. Jason John said, we fighting each other, and the war on poverty is the head of the home. You are right about that. We are. Even when it comes to our men, I say this all the time. We are made to push back on the men. We are. Even the movies. Look how they make the women real strong, and the men. Like I was watching a show the other day called The Lioness, right? Good show. But if you really look at it, like, you know, like her husband is the homemaker. He's at home. She's out fighting the war. She's the strong one, you know. He at home with the apron on making the cookies. Like, I don't think people realize, like, a lot of times we are programmed to think certain ways when it comes to television, social media. You know what I mean? Like, different things are pushed to us, you know. And you got to be able to see through that sometimes, you know. You have to. Even how they're pushing single motherhood 24/7. Like, everybody's having a gender reveal. Like, I don't be seeing no men at them gender reveals. Even when you go down some of their pages, you ever go down somebody's page, got a gender reveal, and it's all women, they're all happy, and it's just like, I get that you want a kid and all this and that, right? But people are purposely having kids without knowing that they're not going to have no father in their home. Like you're literally knowing that you're going to run the household, and they don't care. They care less. Even the story when I was talking about the way we dress and the bubble skirts and the different things like that, and how people were like outraged over the women and how they dress and stuff, and women be like, I wear what I want. And I don't think they understand what people are talking about. Dave Kent said, I'm glad I was raised in the 80s, the old good old days. You're not lying about that, Dave, right? Yeah, because right now, I mean, it's like, man, it's rough out here. It's rough out here. You got the moms, they got the son husbands. You know, they try to make their husbands their sons. I mean, it's rough. It is rough, you know. And it's almost like that's why you don't really see a lot of pair bonding. A lot of people are raised only by your mom a lot of times. And if your mom does not really talk to you and nurture you in ways to get you to pair bond with somebody. A lot of times I hear a lot of moms go, they don't need nobody, that they'll be fine, just date. They don't even want their sons to marry nobody or anything like that. Now, they don't mind when their sons and their daughters are having babies. They don't care about that. They be excited. But oh, marriage, oh no, they're not trying to hear that. But think about it. Why would they? You do what you know a lot of times, you know? You do. You do what you know. And I mean that. So I get it. Lady T said, you mean make their sons their husbands. That's right, son husbands. Son husbands. They call them son husbands. Think about it. Just even think about this. If you're a woman, and let's just say, remember how Kevin would talk to these women all the time, and they'd be like, what do you want to do when you turn 60? And they're like, I'm gonna travel, I'm gonna do all this. How you gonna do that? What money are you gonna have to do that with? So people don't think about that. They're looking at their kids to pay for their lives a lot of times, and that ain't fair. It ain't fair. That's not fair. I mean, of course, you're gonna help out your mom. You're gonna do what you gotta do. But I mean, just think about that. Like, you're made to pretty much make sure that your mom, who never wanted to get with anybody else. I didn't hear women say this. Have you ever heard the saying before? Women say, I don't need no husband. I got sons. I got a son. I've heard that before. And it's just like, okay, what, you're his mom, you're not his wife, you know. It's the Lady T says it's the weirdest dysfunctional dynamic between a mother and sons. And it is. And I'm telling y'all, when I go live, I've heard men, even if you look through some of my comments on some of them videos I make, I've heard men say how their mom is really just destructive and, you know, put a lot of stuff in her head. And, you know, like, they be like, my mom messed me up. And it's sad, you know. I was looking at a Pop the Balloon show, and it was like 42 and 50-year-olds on there, you know, and they were on there and it was popping their balloon because they ain't like the men's shoes. And it's just like, there's so much more. A man can change his shoes, ladies, okay? He can change his shoes, okay? He can't change his personality. He cannot change a lot of his values and his views sometimes, but he can change his shirt and his shoes. Y'all gotta stop doing that sometimes. Like, that is petty to me. Like, and I'm definitely doing a video on that. But I just cannot believe, like, it's just like, there's more to life than what, especially for women. It's a lot of women. It's a lot of us, you know. It's a lot of women. So people don't realize, but it's like 17 women to like every one man. Lady T said it's the women who create the narcissism in men. Think about it though. People gotta realize this. A lot of women are raising these men. They're raising these men by themselves. And the men are picking up traits from their mom. They're picking them up from their mom. A lot of men are mad at their dad because of their mom. You know, don't be wrong. A lot of terrible dads out there too. But when you got your mom actually also telling you all the time, your dad ain't this and that. I mean, it's like, what do you have to look forward to? Like, seriously. Like, I mean, what do you look forward to when you have that? Lady T said, women, meaning the mothers who are raising their boys alone. Women meaning the mothers who are raising their boys alone. Yes, that's what I mean. I'm telling you, I done seen it. Not too long ago, I have a friend, her brother just got married, and her mom was so nasty and mean at the wedding the whole time. She was nasty, mean. She was unwelcoming to that lady. Because his mom had never been married. Think about that. How can you want something for somebody else when sometimes you ain't experienced it? I mean, people can sometimes, but on usual they don't. Think about it. You know, and it's sad. You right, Dave Kent. Dave Kent says it's a partnership 50-50. You right about that. It is. And even that, I was talking about that the other day. Women, it be 40-year-old women out here with kids and everything, or even no kids sometimes. And they'll be like, they ain't date nobody unless they're going to pay 100% of their bills. Who do you know that's coming in paying 100% of anybody's bills? Like, why would they do that? I even asked one of my friends one time, I was like, why would anybody do that? And they was like, well, I'm not doing 50. I said, okay, so you won't do 50. So what's your other option? Because you're going to do 100. That's what you're going to do. You're going to do 100. So you'll rather struggle And that job that you got, I don't care where you at. Job is not a career. Most likely it's a job. It's not going to be enough. You're not going to have enough to retire on. You're not. You're not. I don't care who you pair bond with. Pair bond with somebody. Like seriously. Lady T says, will they have hatred for women because of their mother? Ooh. Now that's a trigger right there, Lady T. Now that's real right there. The emotional and psychological abuse shows up in their relationship as they grow into an adult, and you write about that. And think about this, especially for a lot of black women. I don't know a lot of white women, but I will say this: a lot of times in our cultures, mothers raise their daughter, and they love their boys. They treat their boys like they are their husbands, and they treat their daughters as if they are maids. They do a lot of times. I see it all the time. I see it all the time. You know how many women you know how many clients I know? Let me know if y'all ever seen this before. Where their son gets married, and instead of them saying my daughter-in-law, they just be like his wife, him and his wife. I'll be like, you mean his daughter-in-law, your daughter-in-law, your daughter? They'd be like his wife. And think about that. All of her emotional trauma is attached to her son, so he probably trying to do the best that he can do. Think about that. But a lot of times you pick up your mom's personality a lot of times. So hopefully you're raised by somebody who got some sense, because if she ain't got no sense, you're gonna be in trouble. And think about that. It's like, what do you do? And things happen. Things happen. So I'm not saying things don't happen, but let's just say you have a child, then you have another child, and these are all different dads that you have. How is that supposed to work psychologically with the kids? Seriously, it's rough out here. Dave Kent said, I know dads that say their daughter, let me see. I know dads that say their daughter if they are their daughter-in-law. See, that's good. So dads that calls their daughter-in-law daughter, right? Ooh, perfect example. I was just talking to somebody about this. They were saying that their sister-in-law, their brother's married to a lady, and the sister-in-law calls her dad father, but she won't call the mom. So she won't call her husband's mom, but she'll be like, hey dad, but she will not say hey mom. She calls the mom by her first name. Disrespectful. This again, I'm telling you, that disrespectful. Look, exactly. Look, Dave said that means a lot, and that does mean a lot. Think about that. Like, it's not what you say sometimes, when you address somebody, is how you say it. And people think that's cute. That's not cute to be mean like that. What you get out of that? And I've heard a lot of people say, I love my father-in-law, but I don't like my mother-in-law. Because it's like they kind of do that little competition thing. And it shouldn't be like that. As a family, we should all be reaching to a common goal. That's like even when I'm talking about the households and things. But people staying together. We all got the same common goal. That's to make it. That's to build some generational wealth. That's to keep it moving. That's to get these kids growing up so they can be functioning adults, not mad adults. Because all it's going to do is it's going to repeat the cycle. It's going to repeat the cycle. And that's why I say a lot of times we be so mad at the men as women. A lot of times you don't realize, as women, right? Most men, they will sleep with anybody if you let them, right? They don't mean they like you. Men sleep with you, don't mean they like you at all. Why do we have to keep having babies with them? After baby, after baby, after baby, after baby. Like, it's like, that is your choice to keep doing that. And people say, why is he doing that? Right? That man, he just wanted to have, he wanted to have bump and grind. He wasn't thinking about having no kids. He wasn't. And it's not right. But I'm just saying, like, it's not right at all. But it's like, why keep doing it? Like, you know what's going to happen, right? You've been in health class. And yes, that man's been in health class too, but he does not care. So we all know that we think different, right? From women to men. So why do we keep doing it? See it all the time. Look at the Kendra G show. You see women come up on there, they have 3 and 4 kids and different dads, and they still doing it. It's like, what do you think was going to happen? And I always say, every time I see a homeless person, I say this all the time, that was somebody's baby. Some people just like babies. A lot of people, a lot of women love babies. They don't like big kids and they don't like grown adults. No problem, Dave Kent. Thank you so much. I hope you like this live. I appreciate you coming in here. Dave Kent said it was nice talking to you. I have to put my son to bed. Thank you. Look at you over there being a great father. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Like seriously, like, but think about that though. I think once we attack that, and that's why I was saying this election and all that, this is bigger than what it is. Lady T, did you have a chance to go online and look up that family that's living in that 1-bedroom house with, I think it's like 6 of them? Did you check that out? Jason John, have you seen that? The big old thing. What are they called? The Brazilian Jenkins or whatever. Even that, like, like she's doing that for popularity. She's doing that for TikTok. She's doing that for her likes and different things like that. And it's sad though, but people like controversial stuff. People they're entertained by that. Like I was talking about the other day when I was talking about Orlando Brown, I was talking about Charleston White. I was like, they do stuff to get people's attention because sometimes the stuff they're doing that is quote unquote good, people don't want to listen to that. People don't want to see that. So they go on to the next thing, So they say something abrupt. They scream out something. They yell out something. Something goes on. But that's what gets the algorithm moving sometimes. Right? So it's just like, I get it. I was telling somebody, I know a couple of people that's on YouTube and they're big YouTubers, and the stuff they were talking about some real good stuff. But when they start getting messy, that's when people start looking at them. And that's a fact, that is a fact. When it gets a little messy, then that's when people sometimes want to say, what's it about? Which one? What's it about? Which one? Talking about the Jenkins families. Talking about that the girl that was on she's on TikTok and she lives in a house and it's like 4 kids already, I think, and she's pregnant again and the kids sleep in the kitchen, and I guess she's asking for money and people are sending all kind of money gifts. I'm talking about she got all kind of stuff. Like she got an Amazon. If you go to Jenkins Resilience, which I don't know what's so resilient about that situation, but now they got a bed. They got a bed. The father got a PlayStation. he got a nice little PlayStation 5. They got sheets and covers and everything on their bed. Now the kids are on the mats like cats. Oh, and they got cats. They got maybe like 3 or 4 cats. I want to know one thing: where are the litter boxes at? Because I know that got the stink. I know that got the stink. And this is the type of stuff that we be praising. I'm not praising it, but I'm just saying, like, when did we come to that to where that's cute of any sort? Ain't nothing about that cute. Like for real, like think about that. You got kids sleeping in the kitchen, and I don't care what nobody say. You gotta be mental to keep having kids, knowing that you can't afford them. And they actually call, like, whenever they like say they about to get a job or something, they call it W-2 jobs. Like they'll be like, I don't want to get a W-2 job. Like when people think that's a regular saying, W-2 jobs, like that's nuts to me. But think about this: what people are doing. That's why you got everybody twerking and doing stuff on the internet and just, just doing the most craziest thing. Oh, but you know what I found yesterday? I'm doing a video on that too. I just found a video about was it 304 TikTok? Have you seen the hashtag for 304 TikTok? I'm like, this is nuts. And it's wild because you got women out here crashing out, following that craziness. Got girls in the car talking about she just got off her 304 tour. Are you serious? Social media is forever. Social media is forever. And you in the car counting your money and talking about how many dates you didn't had, and like you really being alive. 304, oldest profession in the world, and you're promoting it. I'm just like, this is nuts. Got women on TikTok drinking Pedialyte, talking about that's gonna make them whatever, like a river down there. People wiping their butt with witch hazel. It's just like, where are we getting this stuff from? Like, this is nuts to me. That's weird. Exactly, we will. And you're not lying about that. Jason John said we will watch anything to ease our stress instead of working on ourselves. Think about it. Everybody wants the fast approach. Everybody wants the fast gains. They don't want to have to work on it. They don't want to do. They want it, and it doesn't make sense. You know. I will say this though. This is advice I would tell you and anybody else. Believe people who they are. You know. Don't think they're going to be something else if they're not showing you they're going to do something else. Some people don't want to do nothing else. Some people only want to do the bare minimum. Some people are happy with bare minimum. Some people don't like your advice. You know, let them be who they are, but you better get away from them. Don't let them stand in your way. I'm telling you, don't let them stand in your way. You can't re-raise grown people. And that's something that a lot of us have to learn. We can't re-raise a person. They're already grown. They are, you know, they grown. They going to do what they want to do. And you got to let people be who they are. Just like people saying you got to learn how to tell Diddy no. You got to learn how to tell people no for other things too, you know. He just had a birthday. He just had a birthday in prison. I did not realize that he's 55 now. What is Diddy, 55? I know he is running out of Beijing. I know he is. That's just nuts. Even that situation is like crazy, you know. He on that Rico. I mean, he might have a little faith right now. So Young Thug then came out. I tell you what, that's gonna be a hard probation to follow. 15 years. You can't be in Atlanta, and that's a spot, and you can't be around a lot of criminals. And you know his family probably are criminalized up. So like how that's gonna be a violation to his probation if he's around that. So I don't know how they gonna do that. So I don't know. I guess we'll wait to see. But 15 years probation, that's gonna be a long time for Young Thug. I mean, I don't know. We'll see if he make it. But that was just a crazy case. And think about it, most cases don't go like that. Not no RICO cases. Federal cases at that, like 98% conviction rate. So just think about that. That's nuts to me. Like it really is. It's just like so. But you got what's the one guy just went to jail? What is that one guy? Lil Durk. He probably he got some like I just don't understand. That's why I say like you can take somebody out of the hood, you give them a lot of money, but if you don't change your ways, you are going to be in trouble because it won't even matter. It won't even matter. You know, I think after all this stuff going on, hopefully we will get in the habit of just loving each other and building up a community instead of striking each other down and hoping that somebody don't get above somebody else. Like real talk. We got to stop doing that. And hopefully we can all work on that soon. Because I'm telling you right now, you can build more with a bigger team. And it takes a team. You can't do it by yourself. So hopefully we are learning that out just a little bit more. Let's see. Jason John said, we so interested in Diddy and Thug, we didn't see Trump coming. No Diddy. You're not lying. You know what I always say, Jason? I always say, whenever something happens really crazy and it's all on news, I always go, what else is happening? Something else going down. Is something else going down? Because they're making us look at that. They're making us look at that. Look at the Menendez brothers case, right? They put it on Netflix. They made it all over, like it's all over TikTok, over social media. It's actually changing people's perception of what happened. And people, and it is though, like let's just say you didn't feel bad for them. You might feel bad for them right now because of everything that's going on, you know? Like seriously. And don't get me wrong, if the daddy did what they said the dad did, I mean, hey, you know, they lucky that they didn't do more stuff to them parents if that really is true what happened, you know. But I think at the same time though, you know, the perception of everything that's going on in the media, it can change our thoughts. And people don't realize, even through our phones, how our phones listen to us and different things like that. Like certain things come to your phone so it can remind you of different things that you need. It knows what you want. I promise you. I was talking about left-handed individuals yesterday. You know what came through my phone this morning? A whole bunch of stuff about left-handed people. Think about that. I think, and we in a world where we're more concerned with astrology and what somebody's sign is and just stuff that don't really matter. So that's why I said, hopefully, more people will stand up and start talking about different things that really matter. And my thing when I come on here is I love talking about families and just talking about our crisis and talking about how we come together as community, even when it comes to dating, even when it comes to even that pop the balloon show that I'm about to do. I'm about to actually go do that video now. I think I'm about to go put that up. So I will be jumping off of here. Jason John, thank you so much for joining me. Lady T, thank you for joining me. Dave Ken, I appreciate it. Please, guys, please like this live. It helps my algorithm. Leave a comment if you can. I really do appreciate it. What is tomorrow? I'm gonna do a video title and I will leave it up. So I will always have upcoming. So I will be coming on here more and more. So tomorrow is what, Friday. So hopefully tomorrow I can come on here about maybe 8:30. Maybe I can do another 8:30 tomorrow. Hopefully. I will set it up though for a title. Jason, are you getting my are you getting my bells and everything? My notifications when I'm coming on? Because I'm definitely pulling up this channel even more and more. And y'all know it's only been like what, about 4 months since I had this channel, so it's doing good. Thank you, Jason. All right, guys, I'm jumping off here to do some work. I will be back. Thank you so much for joining me, babies.